أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Evaluating formative measurement model, delete or not to delete the formative indicators. In the last session or in the last few sessions, we have looked into stepwise how to evaluate the formative measurement model. Now in this session, we are going to look into what are the conditions under which we delete or do not delete the formative indicators. An important question is, shall we delete a formative indicator or shall we retain a formative indicator? Now we have tested the collinearity statistics, we have assessed the indicators for collinearity, and we have assessed the indicators for indicator weights and loadings. Now what are the conditions under which we delete an indicator from a formative model? When deciding whether to delete formative indicators based on statistical outcomes, researchers need to be cautious for the following reasons. First, formative indicators' weights are function of number of indicators used to measure a construct. The greater the number of indicators, the lower their average weight. So they are inversely proportional. Formative measurement models are inherently limited in the number of indicator weights that can be statistically significant. Not all the indicators' weight will be significant. So you should not strongly only rely on the indicator weights. Second, indicators should seldom be removed from formative measurement models, since formative measurement requires the indicators to fully capture the entire domain of a construct. Now if you remove one of the indicators, then the formative measurement model may not be complete. They actually form the formative indicators. They are not replaceable or interchangeable, as defined by the researcher in the conceptualization stage. Now this is in total contrast to reflective measurement model. Formative indicators are not interchangeable. Now just removing one will make this formative model pointless. It may not be complete. Important is that formative indicators with non-significant weights should not be automatically removed from the measurement model, since this step may compromise the content validity of the construct and how you have conceptualized the construct. For example, let's say I've conceptualized a construct CSR in my study as something that is economic, legal, ethical, and philanthropic. Now, as part of my analysis, if I just remove the economic dimension, then the content validity is sacrificed. Again, just based on the indicator weights, I cannot delete my formative indicators. There are other statistics that one should look into as well. Now look at this. First of all, have a look at your indicator weight significance testing. Test the significance of your indicator weights. Now if they are significant, no issues, you can continue. Now what if they are insignificant? Now you have to assess the factor loadings. Now if the loadings are greater than 0.5, go ahead, there is no issue. But what if the loading is less than 0.5? Then you will have to assess whether the loading is significant or not. Now if the loading is significant, you may consider its removal, but if it affects the content validity, do not remove the indicator. But if it's less than 0.5, then you can delete the formative indicator. Now, after statistical significance of formative indicator weights has been assessed, the final step is to examine each indicator's relevance. With regard to relevance, indicators' weights are standardized to the values between -1 and +1. So what is this? Where is your relevance? Your relevance is here. Here, this is your relevance from bootstrap weights. Now look at this. This looks really relevant in case of rewards. This is good enough. This is good enough. So the closer to 1, the higher the relevance. The closer to 0, the lower the relevance. Let's move on. Indicator weights closer to 1 or -1 indicate strong positive or negative relationship, and weights closer to 0 indicate relatively weak relationship. Now here is a summary of rule of thumb for formative measurement model assessment. Now what are the rules? What are the criterion? Here are the criterion, and here are the metrics and threshold. Your convergent validity, that is your redundancy analysis, the path coefficient should be greater than 0.708. Your collinearity greater than 5 is an issue. Between 3 to 5 it's usually uncritical, less than 5 is no issue at all. Your indicator weights significant. Your relevance of indicator weight closer to 1, stronger, closer to 0, weaker, and then you will have to assess the relevance of indicator weights. Now finally, assess the loadings as well. Have a look at the loadings greater than 0.50 and statistically significant, keep the item. Otherwise, if the loading is less than 0.50 and it is not statistically significant, then you may consider or you should delete it. Now here is the complete code. You can have the codes from my website. The link will be shared in the description. I'm just going to quickly review this complete code. So again, we load the library, we load the data, we create the measurement model. The point here, the important point is this here, weights mode B. Again, if you have got a formative model or formative construct, make sure you add these weights. Now look at this, there are no weights here because this is a reflective model. Then you create your structural model as we've been doing all along. You estimate your model and then you summarize your estimated model. You can have descriptive statistics, you can have iterations, you can have collinearity for each of the items. Obviously, if it's formative, then you bootstrap the model. And then obviously once it's bootstrapped, the results are stored in this summary object and you inspect your weights and loadings. So this is how you evaluate and validate a formative model. We will obviously look into how to report these results in coming videos as well. Again, if you want to know further, please do get hold of this book. It's free, it's open access. Read it while you watch these videos as well. Thank you very much.